welcome to this video in which I'm going to be reviewing different cosmetics that I recently bought, and these are all makeup cosmetics. And yeah, I am not very surprised by the results of my testing, because actually the cosmetics that I expected to be like the best were the best. I mean, the kind of cosmetics, and the ones that I always struggle to find ones that really suit me, they turned out to not suit me. So yeah, let's start from the worst part, which is like always the most difficult for me to find ones that suit me and that are good for me, are the foundations, because I always struggle. I don't know why, maybe I'm too demanding, but I always struggle with the texture of different foundations. Like sometimes they have such sometimes they have such a strange texture that I don't like them. And I had this problem once again, like none of the foundations, because I was looking for a foundation that could replace the one that I'm using right now, because it makes my skin very dry. And I also need another shade, because the shade of foundation that I'm mostly using most of the time right now is too light for me, and I need to find the one that suits me. So I was looking for a new one. I was hoping to find cheaper replacements that would work better for me, but unfortunately I will end up like selling the ones that I bought, and I bought 3, and none of them was really like really good for me. So yeah, so the first one, let's start with this one, which is Ingrid Cosmetics, and this is a mattifying one, and the color is natural beige, and actually the color is a thing that it suited me. I like the color. This is the thing that I liked about it, but unfortunately it was like very stiff on my face, and I really struggled to make it like, you know, to distribute it over my face. Once it was on it, it was like, it felt like it was sticking to my skin, and this is a problem I have with a lot of foundations, and maybe I'm, you know, demanding too much, but like when I use the one that I'm using most of the time, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have such texture, it doesn't have such consistency. So it's not for me. I will have to sell it. Like I like the shade, but otherwise, like when it comes to the way it feels, the way I distribute it over my face, it's like no, it's not what I wanted, unfortunately. But this is quite often happens to me with foundations. Like maybe I'm too demanding, I don't know, but it doesn't look very bad on my face. It looks okay, but it doesn't feel okay. Like some foundations, they also look very bad on my face, so it's not the worst, because it doesn't look very strange. It doesn't look like, I don't know, a cake or something like this, but also it doesn't feel good. So yeah. And the second one is this one, Nude Face Natural Result, and I was hoping that this one will stick to my face less, and maybe it was sticking to my face a bit less. And the color is sand, and also the color was good, but also the how it feels, you know, it wasn't good. It was the same. It was very similar. Maybe it was a bit better, but it was like the same thing. So I'm also going to end up selling this one, but this is something I prepared myself for, and they were not very expensive. And the third one is this one from Lovely, and it's Camouflage Foundation in the shade Nude. And the first thing is that the shade is too light for me, so maybe I could use it when I'm very pale or whatever, but it's right now it's too light for me. And to be honest, it wasn't as good as I expected. Also, I had similar problem. It was like easier to distribute around my face than the previous ones, so that thing was better. So actually it would be better, but the shade suits me less. And also it was not, and it looks good on my face. Actually this thing is, yeah, it looks good on my face, but it was not what I would expect, and I will try to use it again. Maybe the next time I try to use it, I will give it a chance. I will give it a try, but it's not, you know, unfortunately I haven't found my new perfect foundation. So, and the next thing that I was testing are those lipsticks, and the first one is from Miss Sporty, and that was very cheap lipstick. And because Miss Sporty is like a very cheap brand, and it's like a long lasting lipstick in, yeah, it's called Matte to Last. And do I have a shade somewhere? Yeah, Sensational Chocolate. And actually it was okay. All the lipstick that I was testing, they were fine. Actually, what I would like to change, they don't have like the applicator, like sometimes those applicators, they have like nicer shape and they are like easier to applicate. So this is something that wasn't like very perfect, but it wasn't bad. They were like not the, this is off. It went in my nose. I wanted to try if it has a smell. I don't feel anything. Maybe it has a smell, but not very intense one. Because some lipstick, they smell very nice. And yeah, so the applicator is not like very, but it's also not bad. It's just more stiff. Like I like more, less stiff applicators. So it is not the best applicator I had, but it looked okay. And also it really stayed long, so which is like the most important thing for me, because I hate when they disappear from your lips and you have to reapply them all the time. That's why I like matte lipsticks, because they stay long. And this is another, actually I had very similar experiences with all of those lipsticks. And this is Matte and Lasting from Lovely. And this color is actually less pink than it looks. It's like more nude, but it's like something between nude and pink. But it's more nude than I expected. I was expecting something more pink. Huh. I'm wondering, was the color? I don't know what's the name of the color of this lipstick. And this is actually the same lipstick, but in a different color. It's also Matte and Lasting from Lovely. And they both lasted quite long, but I noticed, I don't know, I think it's something about red lipsticks that they, because they have a different, this one is kind of similar to human natural lip color, and this one, red lipstick, people don't naturally have red lips, so it's more visible when it starts disappearing. That's why I think they seem to last less long, but it also lasted quite well. I was eating something, that's why kind of part of it disappeared, but it was also like I didn't really try to keep my lipstick on, so it was good. I think I have good experiences with it. Like I have another lipstick which stays less long, and it's also red. Like I don't have a lot of red lipsticks, so don't have a lot of comparison, but also like it seemed to stay shorter than this one, but I think it's because of the color. So yeah, so these are the lipsticks, and the last part are the palettes, and this is a palette shaped like a bunny. Actually, I will group them from my favorite to my least favorite, and my favorite is this one. Also it was the most expensive, but I bought it new, and the other ones I bought used, so maybe they would be a similar price to this one. They wouldn't probably be a bit less expensive, but not much. Like this one costed like I think €12 or something like this, and I don't spend a lot of money, so that's why from a lot of people that would be a very cheap price, but for me, I don't like spending money. So this is Ingrid Orient Rituals, and these are the shades, and I really like the pigmentation, and I really like how smooth they are. They are very smooth. That's what I love about them. That's why this one is my favorite. And my second favorite, like the packaging is my most favorite, I guess. But the second favorite is this one, because actually the pigmentation was stronger than I expected. Because the packaging is so nice that I expected that maybe they will not be good. Because, sometimes when packaging is nice, they just are like, oh, it will sell anyway, because, we packaged it nice. But actually, I really like those shades, and they are better than I expected. I'm wearing this palette right now, by the way, and I also really love that one of them has a camel and the other one has a flower. I love especially the camel, like, and it's also like in a camel shade, let's say. oh, they don't have names, by the way, because I was thinking maybe the name is also Camel. My third one is this one, Lion King from Makeup Revolution, and I bought it on Vinted. So I bought it like for €2, but it costs more than €2 definitely. And it's on the third place. Like, actually none of the makeup palettes is bad. Like, none of them, like the last place is not a bad palette. All of them are fine, like which is what I expected, because I usually don't have that much problems about palettes. I usually have the most problems about foundations. So especially that my skin is quite demanding, like a lot of foundations look very bad on my skin. Like, maybe because my skin is very dry. But it's on the third place and not the last place, because actually the last two ones, they are very similar in how much I like them. They are both fine, like none of them is bad. Like, the last place is not a bad palette, but actually they are on the last. This is not on the last, but almost the last, because I really like the colors and I find them like very useful, and I will definitely use them a lot, and I really like those colors. So yeah. And the last one, which is not bad, it's actually a really good palette. It's just on the last place because I actually didn't have problem with any of them, so they were all good. So, and this palette, I think it's similar to this one when it comes to like quality of the shades, but the colors, I will use them less often, I think. That's why. And these are the colors. They are very diverse. They are not bad colors. These are just colors that I do not use very much. And they are, this one and this one, they are quite light. They are lighter than I expected. So also that's why, because like I don't see much, like I don't see them being very used in my makeup. For example, those ones, I see that I will use them a lot probably, but also it depends on what makeup you wear. So, but they aren't bad. I'm happy that I have them. I think I will use this palette because also I need like something different, you know, because I have a lot of pinkish shades, a lot of like warm shades right now, especially with those 3 pink palettes. So that's good that I have something different and has very diverse shapes. And also the packaging is so cute. Like, of course I love the packaging. Like, of course the packaging was the reason I bought it, because it's really cute. I bought it for €2, by the way, because I also bought it on Vinted, and so that was a good deal. I don't regret that. I don't regret any of those things, because those ones which are the foundations, if I didn't buy them I wouldn't try them, because the tester, you cannot really like make a whole makeup of this. It would be very silly. Like, maybe some people do that, but I would feel just very awkward. And so I'm happy that I bought them, because I could test them and I could know that they are not for me. And I will sell them anyway, probably in a similar price in which I bought them, because I haven't used them almost at all. I just used them once, but I already know that they are not for me, so I will sell them. This foundation, maybe I will give it another try, and maybe then I will sell it or leave it. I don't know. The lipsticks I will definitely use, and the palettes I will definitely use. So none of the shopping I regret. I don't really. Also the foundations, I don't know. Maybe some people like a different type of foundations. Maybe for some people they would be perfect, because everybody is different, especially like everybody has a different skin texture, and many times some people like foundations that I hate, that I cannot have them, and people say that they are the best, and vice versa. So everybody has different needs, so they are not for me, but maybe they are very good for somebody else, because different people have different expectations, and also maybe they have different sensory feelings, and maybe they don't. I just like foundations that distribute on my face very smoothly and do not feel like sticking to my face. And then I have too much foundation in one place and too little foundation in another place. Like, I really don't like it. So yeah, they are just not for me. Maybe they are for other people. but not for me. Okay, so that's it, and have a nice day. See you in the next video. And by the way, I linked in the beginning the video in which I show those cosmetics when I was buying them, and I was saying that I will probably test them. This is something I should say in the beginning, but I forgot about this. And right now I will show you swatches of those different palettes. So yeah, that's that, and after this that will be the end. So this is a swatch from a palette, Welcome to Marrakesh, and the swatch looks worse on camera than it does in real life. It's this palette, because I really like those colors, like especially this one, for example. It's very glittery, and this one, like, I love those glittery colors especially, but also this one is nice. Like, actually this palette is a positive surprise for me, because I knew it looks nice, like the palette itself looks nice, especially the camo, but I was thinking, yeah, if it looks so nice like the palette itself, maybe the eyeshadows aren't so good, because I had some palettes that looked very nice but they didn't work that nice when you had to use them. But actually I like those eyeshadows much more than I expected, so it's a positive surprise, this palette. This time this is a swatch from this palette, Ingrid Orient Rituals, and I really love this palette. I think this is my favorite from those ones that I have been testing right now. I really love especially the glitter ones. Once again, I usually love glitter eyeshadows, and they are so nice and so smooth, and they feel so good on an eye, and I really like this palette. Actually, this palette was like the most expensive from those ones that I've been testing right now. I mean, this is the only one that I bought new. The other ones I bought on Vinted, and they were not used, like nobody used them, but they were cheaper because somebody already bought them before. So yeah, not counting the one Welcome to Marrakesh, I also bought it in a store, and they were all like, I think I like all of them, but I think I like this one the most, and especially that I really like those nude shades. I kind of need them, and yeah, like I think I will use all of them. Like I like this one, I like this one, I like this one, like all of them I like, so I will probably use all of them a lot.